Picture this. A man buys a private island in the Bahamas for $80,000, certain he has just made the deal of his life. 10 years later, he is broke, the island sits abandoned, and the same plot of sand resells for less than he paid. Now picture a very different owner, a few hundred miles away, who takes a similar-sized island
and turns it into a business worth an estimated $40 million.
Same ocean, same fantasy, two completely different endings. Involving a fire, a lightning strike, and one of the richest men in the world.
We will get to that. But first, we need to understand something important. Why owning an island breaks so many people financially before it ever makes them rich?
Owning an island is sold to us as the ultimate reward, the private paradise waiting at the end of the rainbow.
No neighbors, no traffic, no rules but your own. Movies love this fantasy. Reality is far stranger. An island is not really real estate in the normal sense. It behaves more like a tiny, fragile country, one with its own weather, its own politics, and its own way of quietly destroying a bank account. Here's the number that surprises almost everyone. You do not need to be a billionaire to buy one. All undeveloped islands in places like Nova Scotia, the Philippines, or parts of Central America can list for as little as $20,000 to $50,000. Thousands of islands are on the market right now for less than a one-bedroom apartment in New York City. That accessibility is exactly what pulls people in without warning them what comes next. Because the purchase price is almost always the smallest expense an owner will ever pay. The real cost begins the moment someone actually tries to use the place. Fresh water has to be sourced from scratch, either through a drilled well or a desalination system. Both come with real installation and running costs that industry estimates place well into six figures. Electricity is the same story. Most private islands sit off any power grid entirely, which means diesel generators or solar arrays have to be shipped in, assembled, and maintained by hand. And once water and power are sorted, there is still construction, where every brick has to arrive by boat or helicopter, often multiplying standard building costs several times over. This is the exact trap our first owner in the Bahamas fell into. He budgeted for the island. He never budgeted for what the island would demand once he actually tried to live on it.
Now, quick question for you. What do you think is the single most expensive part of owning an island?
The land itself, or everything that comes after buying it? Hold that thought.
Not every island owner is chasing an escape. Some are building a business, and that changes everything about the math.
The most common model is luxury rental, where an island with just 6 to 10 guest rooms can command over $10,000 a night.
For weddings, honeymoons, and corporate retreats, generating 7 figures a year when it is marketed well.
Some owners go further and sell nothing but silence itself. No restaurant menu, no schedule, just staff and scenery.
Others turn their island into a backdrop, licensing it out for film shoots and advertising campaigns. A smaller number of owners have found income in the least obvious place of all: conservation. Certain programs will actually pay island owners to protect coral reefs and mangroves, simply for leaving it alone.
An island does not decide on its own whether it becomes a money pit or a money machine.
The owner decides that, usually before a single dollar is spent.
Our Bahamas owner treated his island as a personal luxury with no plan for return. Our $40 million owner treated his as a hospitality business.
But even the owners who get it right are playing a fragile game. A single storm can destroy a dock or a solar array in hours.
Insurance for remote island property is notoriously expensive when it is available at all.
Staffing adds its own hidden weight, since workers often have to be housed on site or ferried in daily. Isolation, the very thing that makes an island desirable, has a way of turning on its owner. More than one owner has discovered, 6 months in, that they bought a beautiful, expensive form of stress instead of peace.
Nobody illustrates this better than Richard Branson. His private Necker Island in the British Virgin Islands burned to the ground in 2011.
After a lightning strike hit during a tropical storm, destroying the main house in hours.
Rebuilding cost tens of millions of dollars. Branson rebuilt anyway.
Today, Necker Island stands as one of the most successful private island businesses on Earth.
Proof that even a catastrophic loss can be absorbed by an owner who treats the island as a long-term asset, rather than a fragile trophy.
Islands sit at the extreme edge of risk and reward because nobody can manufacture more of them. Developers can build endless apartments and hotels, but the supply of islands is fixed forever.
Which is exactly why prices in desirable regions have kept climbing over the decades, hurricanes and all.
For anyone still dreaming about buying one, the mistakes are predictable. First-time buyers fall in love with the photograph and skip the paperwork.
Missing zoning restrictions, environmental protections, and unclear boundaries that have quietly killed more deals than any storm. The second mistake is treating the island as a one-time purchase instead of a permanent, ongoing operating expense.
The owners who actually succeed follow a different pattern. They investigate the legal status of the land before signing anything.
They budget 3 to 5 times the purchase price for basic infrastructure, not as a worst case, but as the baseline. They decide in advance whether the island exists to produce income or produce memories.
Because trying to have both without a plan is how dreams quietly turn into debt.
So the man who went broke in the Bahamas made one decision that undid him. He bought the fantasy and never built the business.
The owner who built a $40 million operation made the opposite decision before he ever signed the deed. And Richard Branson proved that even fire and disaster cannot sink an island that was built as an asset instead of a trophy.
That is the real answer hiding behind every island listing online. It was never about how much the island cost to buy.
It was about whether the owner was willing to spend 3 to 5 times that number, making it actually work. The ocean does not ask for permission before it tests that plan.